Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to PhD Chamber of Commerce Industry and welcome to this very pertinent summit, Drone Manthan 2.0. This is the day 2 and day 1 we had, lot of food for thought, and today we will be actually manifesting whatever we have, heard or whatever was said yesterday, because the movers and shakers, the people who actually do the technical aspect, people who make policies and people who are actually at work in terms of manifesting whatever our thought leaders say is today in our panel. And before formally starting this Drone Summit 2.0, I will request everyone to kindly stand up for the national anthem. Thank you. So one of the important, thought process that came out in yesterday's deliberations was that there has to be more intense industry stakeholders consultation with the regulators so that we are able to bridge the gap between the innovators and regulators, because normally industry, they have a pain point that whatever innovations they do, the regulators, they in fact fall behind. They are not in race with innovators, but keeping the entire intricate dynamic ecosystem of decision making, it has to be in tandem with innovation, with the new technology pros that our youth have right now. So in order to understand the nitty-gritties, the nuances, that how the industry stakeholders, the drone manufacturers, service providers, and all players of the drone ecosystem, how they can actually be one-to-one with the regulators. So we have in fact curated this program so that we are able to understand the tricks of the trade, the nuts and the bolts, the nuances of bridging the gap between whatever you are aspiring to do, because ultimately your planning, your forecasting is actually dependent on like whatever regulations are in pipeline and what our regulations have been manifested. So without any further ado, I will first of all request Dr. Manish Pandey, Director and Head of Project Analysis and Documentation Division at Quality Council of India, to kindly start the deliberations with his address. Over to you, Dr. Pandey.
Thank you, sir. So let me start with thanking the PHDCCI to invite the Quality Council for speaking on this important occasion. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Joint Director General Mr. Manish Kumar on the stage, President DFI, Drone Federation of India, Mr. Smith Shah. We have from the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Brajesh, and of course, then we have the hosts themselves. I would start by giving you an overview, but I would not dwell deep into this subject because we have the experts, the subject matter expert, as I would like to say, in terms of, the each aspects that they would dwell upon, which would be, things like the process of certification and how compliances are met in the drone sector. There would be topics also talking about Namo Didi, which is more about indigenization, where the Ministry of Agriculture representative would talk about. There would be also aspects which would be dealt in terms of cyber security and other issues that are coming up, and then we need to strengthen the current quality infrastructure in a sense that it helps both the civilian drone and the military drones. And so this would be something that you would take with yourself once this session is over. I have a short kind of speech that I have to make as the opening remarks. So I would start by first expressing our gratitude towards the Ministry of Civil Aviation and DGCA, who has been constantly encouraging, acknowledging, and also pushing us to come up with frameworks that would not only help to secure the civilian drone ecosystem, but also see that the level of comfort in terms of whatever we do passes on to the common citizen. This is one, and for that we thank the Ministry of Civil Aviation and of course DGCA. The intervention that we had done as the Quality Council is creating a certification scheme for the unmanned aircraft system, which is called CSUAS for short. And this is something that is unique in the entire world, if I may say so. And this is also a beautiful example where an initiative which was started as a voluntary became a part of the regulation, which is very rare to see in our systems of quality infrastructure. So it is a good marriage between a voluntary system and a regulatory system, which is something which we see as evolution of quality infrastructure in a country. So what happens, and when I say that it is a good initiative, means that a drone manufacturer would not have to actually being subject to two kinds of examinations or assessments. One is that the voluntary systems, he has to take one certificate and then go to the regulator to get his thing. In this case, we see that there is a there is an kind of merging of these two systems to get the desired result. And of course, this also helps the government in a sense that the government is now, focusing only on the, critical aspects of the drone systems before they issue a license. Otherwise, they would have to see it from the scratch, and that would take a lot of time and resources of the already, challenged space in terms of the human resources that the government has. Once we had done this, the Ministry of Civil Aviation actually came out with the Drone Rules 2021, the Rule 7, which clearly mentions that the Quality Council of India, which I represent here, would be the standard setter on the UAS or the drone system, and which gives us quite a bit of mandate to work on any issues that comes. And of course, since DGCA is the regulator for the activities, we always kind of have a good guidance from them in terms of whatever we hear from the industry, whatever we hear from the government actually channelizes into something which is simple, doable and adaptable by the industry, so that ultimately the objectives of the government in terms of compliance, in terms of safety, security and stability are maintained into this. We also have been given a current responsibility about indigenization, because at the end of the day, everything in terms of the components of drones to be coming out of India. There are a lot of schemes that the Ministry of Civil Aviation is working on, has already done, in example PLI and others, which talks about manufacturing. We are going one step further to actually, if I can use the word, unravel the indigenization content in the drone, so that it gives a clarity both to the government and to the ecosystem that what is the current indigenization. And once we have that, then suddenly or certainly the government would think about putting a cutoff that that they want a certain percentage of this indigenization in their public procurement systems. This would not only give benefits to people who are already high on indigenization, but also it would kind of accelerate the process where people try to review their own supply chains in terms of what they procure and how much then they should start procuring from the country, from the available components. So there are certain matrices that we have seen in terms of mission criticality, safety criticality, in terms of, so there are certain formulas that we have been working on, and of course, in due course of time that would move through a stakeholder consultation, which will of course then settle the framework, and that would be for the manufacturers to look into it and then kind of decide about what is the kind of indigenization that they want to bring into their equipment whenever they present it to the government for procurement. The last 2 points I want to make is, as the Quality Council, as I've told you, interested with the responsibility of making standards. While the current certification schemes talk about the visual line of sight, we are moving very fast on the beyond visual line of sight, because whatever I have heard, that the visual line of sight drones are a minuscule part of the services that the drones could actually offer to the citizens. With the beyond visual line of sight, I think so there is possibilities galore, which would help suddenly that there is a lot of use cases that could be placed both to the citizens and of course to the government. For example, that dropping of medicines in remote Himalayan region could be one cases, or in the tribal pockets. Otherwise, either the roads are not there or there are issues. But if you talk about a BV loss, you can actually program your drones in a manner that medical supplies and things like that could be lifted in very less time and given to the needy in the far-flung places. The last point that I wanted to speak is, of course, as Quality Council and of course, again with the DGCA support, we are trying to have a look at the indigenization come security of the drones in terms of what are the essential components or the software that could be tested within a framework, so that things like hijacking, spoofing, or things that could affect critical missions is somewhere not sabotaged. So this is something that we are still discussing and giving some concept notes to the Ministry of Defense, but let us see how it pans out. So overall, what I wanted to say in this particular session, which is QCI powered session, we are focusing on what needs to be done, what have we done, and what further can we do through a stakeholder process. There is some initiatives which I would leave my senior colleague Dr. Raj to speak about as Quality Council. How are we reaching these stakeholders? Currently, we work through a very structured committee process, but I think so there is an internal discussion where we need to broad base those consultation process, and that is the term that we use, Manthan, which of course you are all aware of, but he would highlight more on the process, and then at some point in time we would have some of you or most of you in the manufacturing sector to be a part of such consultation, so that we have all the viewpoints and then structure it in a process which delivers a framework which is kind of addressing all the issues which you have. With these words, I thank you all for patient listening, and then we have the esteemed speakers who would dwell in the points that I have discussed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Manish Pandey, for your opening remarks, and also vividly you explained the role of PAD division QCI in terms of creating a very, very enabling ecosystem for drone manufacturers and service providers. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to invite our distinguished speaker, Mr. Smith Shah, the President for Drone Federation of India, for sharing his perspective with the august audience.
Good morning. Mr. Manish Kumar, JDG, DGCA, Dr. Raj, Dr. Manish from QCI, Dr. Jatinder from PHDCCI, and Brijesh from Ministry of Agriculture, friends from the industry, from academia, and several other stakeholders who are very vital to the entire drone ecosystem. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about this very important subject, which is about the drone ecosystem and the various compliances aspects in the ecosystem. I want to talk in two parts today. First is about some guidance to the industry. I was part of a session yesterday as well where I mentioned that if you are an industry member today and if you are building drone components or drones, I think it is very important to start thinking about one thing, which is, are you building a product that has any differentiating factor? India has more than 500 plus drone companies working either in drone manufacturing or components. And to everyone I keep saying, if your goal is to make one more agriculture spraying drone that is going to look like 25 other agriculture spraying drones, then you are probably not thinking right. It is time for people to start thinking, what am I doing different? Why does my product stand out from 25 others? And that is the only way in which you will be able to differentiate your product, whether it is in terms of indigenization, innovation, cost, AI, better obstacle avoidance, or many other aspects. This is what is required for the ecosystem. Otherwise, there are 500 plus companies, they are trying to build products similar to others. I don't mean every one of them, but till the time there is no special focus on product being different an introspection on why am I doing this, why will customer want my product more, then it will just be a me too kind of a ecosystem, and you will not be able to differentiate and hence not be able to probably make a sale different than the others. So this is very important for the ecosystem today. And of course, apart from all of this, there is no doubt that drone ecosystem is going to be the most important ecosystem in the coming years. So all of you, my young friends who are, in this event to understand more about drones, this is going to be like IT few years back. This will be the most buzzing industry. This will be the industry that will show the world that India can also be a leader in the aviation domain, especially from design, manufacturing and intellectual property perspective. So if you are planning to be somewhere around drone ecosystem, I think, attend more courses, attend more programs and become part of the ecosystem as fast as possible. Second thing is about the entire certification and compliance and all of this. I think I will take the liberty to talk about 3-4 points and give some suggestions to Manish sir, Tulsi Raman sir and all, and the entire ecosystem here as well. I think with many government-led programs which are coming in, suddenly we are going to see that there will be probably 80 to 100 people who will require type certificate in a year, as opposed to 30-40, which is the current number. So it's very important to look at some kind of process improvement or capacity increase or any other mechanism to ensure that these new people who are coming to apply for type certificate or existing manufacturers that are coming to apply for modification in their type certificate, we can try and accommodate this request as fast as possible. Our estimate suggests that there is a requirement for about 80 to 100 type certificates or amendments in this next upcoming year, especially because of this one program that Dr. Manish had mentioned, Namo Drone Didi program. Everyone is going to want to be part of that. So this is one area that we must all come together and work. It is not the responsibility of only DGCA or QCI or only industry to cry and all of that. Everyone has to come together and holistically work to bring in these process improvements and amendments. Second and most important thing, which ideally in an ideal world is not required, but in this ecosystem it is not like typical aviation where there is a very large company with very senior experienced people with well established processes and all. Unfortunately or fortunately, there are young innovators who are straight out of IITs. They are first time entrepreneurs, first time building tech. What they only know is how to build tech and how to make it better. What they don't know is how to undertake safety, security, documentation, process improvement and all. So there is a very, very urgent need to do capacity building amongst drone manufacturers for them to understand what this certification scheme is, what its benefits are, how to become compliant. So maybe with some participation from DGCA, but spearheaded by QCI, I would request that these capacity building workshops, process improvement workshops, in general to make sure that drone companies are more aware of the scheme and they start looking at this certification scheme more of as an opportunity to become mature rather than as a threat or some compliance burden. So that we need to bridge. And third, of course, we need to unlock new areas like beyond visual line of sight and support unmanned traffic management and all, which is going to be the future. How do we enable 50 kilometer, linear inspection of pipelines? How do we enable 100 kilometers of healthcare delivery? How do we make sure that when the drone will fly 100 kilometers, they may want to fly beyond 400 feet? So these are certain new areas that we need to urgently work on. And I think everyone is already working on. Maybe a little bit speed infusion and focus infusion will help deliver that more. So these are some of the areas that I think the ecosystem should work on. For industry, it is most important to understand what is the new product that I'm going to make, how am I going to become different, and for the entire ecosystem to come together and not crib about something not working out, but participate and give suggestions. If you say that it is taking 6 months to obtain a type certificate, I mean everyone knows this. What is the solution that you have? If you don't have a solution, don't crib. Everyone knows that there is a problem in the ecosystem, but no one is here creating that problem intentionally. Either it is a capacity problem or it is a new process and all of that. There are many other factors. And we believe that if you can't give a suggestion, you can crib about the problem, but that problem will not get solved only by cribbing. So that is the attitude with which all stakeholders need to contribute rather than only crib. And that is the last word that I want to leave with everyone. If you feel something is not working out, come up with some tangible solution. That solution may be wrong, but if you have not contributed tangibly with a solution, you have not done your part by only highlighting the problem. So that's it from my side, and I'm very excited to have very important people on the panel today to talk about their roles and responsibilities and guide us all from the industry to make sure that we can have the vision set and we can have expectations set and we can move forward in the ecosystem and unlock many new areas in the drone ecosystem. thank you for having the patience to hear me, and thank you QCI and PHDCCI for giving me the opportunity to speak on this important session.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shah. In fact, as discussed yesterday, we'll be coming out with a white paper on Drone Manthan 2.0, and we'll be in fact putting all the suggestions also. In fact, we are doing the recording also. And yesterday also many new points came, many innovative ideas also came. Because until unless the regulators, they understand what is the pain point, challenges of the industry, then only they can sort out the problem. So this is in fact one of the very, very important platforms. This QCI powered session definitely will be, I'll say, the icing on the cake in order to, make our things more, in the action mode. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite Mr. Brijesh Kumar Awasthi. Mr. Awasthi is the consultant for the emerging technologies in Ministry of Agriculture. Over to you, Mr.
Good morning, all. Sorry. Thank you, sir, for giving the chance to speak here. Thank you, JS ma'am. Actually, she couldn't make it today, so I'm here to represent her. Thank you, Minister of Agriculture as well. As we know that in emerging technology sector, I'm actually working with as emerging technology consultant. So when we talk about emerging technologies, the very buzzword when it comes to our mind is the right now ChatGPT. What ChatGPT is doing India, from industry to academia to our professors to researchers to students, what they're doing. And then comes the other technology areas. Everybody talks about AI, data science and everything, but we often forget there are other areas of emerging technologies as well. And there comes the unmanned aerial vehicles, and which later on translated to drone technology. So when we say drone technology, do you know that in the recent budget session, agriculture was one of the pillars which actually our Honorable Finance Minister has addressed as the pillar of Viksit Bharat, as the theme of this drone Manthan suggests that how we can drone technology can contribute to the growth of the country and make it to the Viksit Bharat kind of things. So there comes the government sector, how it recognizes the potential of emerging technologies like drone technology. And the most excitement part is that our Prime Minister is very much excited about the drone technology and the emerging technologies itself. So he has came up, with the consultation of different government ministries and private sector and industry and academia. He came up with this Namo Drone Didi scheme. And then under this scheme, they are targeting that when we say Namo Drone Didi scheme, we are targeting in the agriculture how we can use the emerging technologies to reach out to the people who are at the grassroots level, who are actually there in the remote villages, and how we can make them accessible to these kind of technologies. So then this idea of Namo Drone Didi came into the picture. The pilot project has been done. There are 500 drones distributed. So many, government bodies, private sector, industry, academia, and people are involved into that. There are drone manufacturing companies are involved into that. Minister of Agriculture is also working on the remote pilot training, setting up the remote pilot training institutions in the FMTTIs, which are there in different parts of the country. Then fertilizer companies are involved. Department of Ministry of Fertilizer is also involved in this Namo Drone Didi scheme. When we say agriculture, it is directly related to rural development as well. And when we say rural, the idea of giving drones to the rural areas, and that too functional drones, and empowering the our farmers, and that too women entrepreneurs, a lady who's sitting remote part of the country. She can fly the drone, she can get trained, handling all the responsibilities and breaking the barriers of the society. So she can be trained, and then she can become the drone didi in that part of the remote part of the country or remote part of the village. And then she comes, has that idea, empowered by the government, comes to meet even president of the country as well. Then DGC, of course, when we say emerging technologies and drone comes into the picture, the rules and regulations come into the to be addressed, how that can be enabled. Drone is a very earlier it was considered as a risky to be given the remote to be given to the person who is not able to fly a drone. When we say pilots, you understand how a pilot is made. They go through a rigorous training and all those rules and regulations. They learn day and night and then come up with these kind of things. Then DGCA came into the picture. They have facilitated the drone rules 2021. Then, of course, as the part of the Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, this scheme came into the picture, and then we have targeted distributing around 15,000 drones. And when we say drones and the emerging technologies, there comes the idea of self-sufficiency. When we say self-sufficiency, how many, if students I can see they are sitting here, how many of you have had a chance to at least order a drone online and fly it? Can anybody tell me? No. So when we say self-sufficiency, forget about innovating within India, forget about building a drone within India. There are certain entrepreneurs graduated from IITs, and they started trying this kind of stuff. And they have started building the drone ecosystem and build the drone within the country. And then the self-sufficiency roles, how India can build their own drone, and then that can be facilitated for multiple use cases. I was doing a study how many use cases can, what are the use cases can be facilitated with the drone technology. And we found within India that there are 30 use cases there the drones are being used. There was a very unique case how wildlife, cattle and all those are being tracked by the drone technology. How our Ministry of Highways is using drones to, track how the highways are being, paved across the country. So there are 30 use cases, and there is a huge opportunity when we say use cases. As Smith has addressed about how certain states are coming up with the rules and drone policies, like MP has recently formulating a policy, drone policy, how they can facilitate various use cases like delivering medicine to the remote places. I came across a use case in Gujarat that they are thinking how to use drones to disperse the blood samples and all that kind of stuff. So we have identified around 30 use cases. Similarly, in the agri sector, there are 2 use cases has been identified, and those use cases are being given in the operating guidelines in the Namo Drone Didi scheme, which are actually empowering the Namo Drone Didis. And when it comes to self-sufficiency, we are working on certain things along with the QCI and DGCA. So we are soon, coming up with these kind of mechanisms, and then we are going to take this scheme forward in the phased manner. Then comes the procurement and these kind of things in the emerging technology sector, and that too drone technology. This process, this scheme, and this particular domain of the emerging technology sector, which is going to empower the last people at the grassroots level. As sir has mentioned that they will be coming up with the white paper after this, Manthan on the drones for the Viksit Bharat. I will definitely, suggest them to include Namo Drone Didi scheme, how they are doing, and Didi sitting at a remote place. I am calling them. Suppose that she is from Telangana at a remote village. She is flying a drone. That is actually empowering them. Some of them, for example, I called a Didi sitting in some part of Bihar, and she said, सर मुझे जो चाहिए था, मुझे जो मुकाम हासिल करना था, मैंने कर लिया है. ये बहुत अच्छी स्कीम है, हमें ड्रोन चाहिए. और इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी में, व्हेन वी से इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी, देयर आर अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ आर ह्यूज. एंड ड्रोन टेक्नोलॉजी, शहर में कोई ड्रोन उड़ा पा रहा है या नहीं उड़ा पा रहा है, बट गांव में कोई ड्रोन उड़ा रहा है, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. So there I thank Ministry of Agriculture, JS ma'am, and thanks the panel giving me this opportunity and empowering the people with the these kind of technology areas and coming up with different schemes and adopting them very actively. So I will suggest again the academic people, try and innovate and build within the ecosystem of the emerging technology sector. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Awasthi. In fact, your initiative, Namo Drone Didi, is a classic example of women entrepreneurship, particularly, I'll say, for the rural women, which is definitely, this example can be showcased along, different, global ecosystems also, because this is definitely one of the, I'll say, the turning points in the history of the rural women entrepreneurship, and nothing like this could have imagined even 5 years ago. And thanks to your department, thanks to QCI and DGCA for allowing this type of model by which you are able to showcase one of the best services that the nation can offer, particularly for women empowerment. Thank you very much. With this, I'd like to invite Mr. Manish Kumar, Joint DGCA, for sharing his perspective with the august audience, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jitendra Singh ji. Very good morning. Very good morning to all the people here, the gentlemen on the dais. It's my pleasure and privilege to talk to you about a very exciting field. And first of all, I'd like to thank PhD Chambers of Commerce for organizing this kind of workshops wherein they are bringing together the innovative minds and the people who are in position to take decisions, so that we have a composite process to go forward, take into consideration all your thoughts and your wishes, so they are become part of the policy planning. So that's great. And now the fact remains, the rules 2021 has been mentioned. The rule 2021 has come after a lot of deliberations, experimentation, and giving a direction to the industry that this is the way to go forward and to promote innovation. So with that process, the many facets of drone has been mentioned as a very useful platform. Yes, it is very useful platform and very cost-effective platform. And the big push to this industry came from Namo Drone Didi. And to support that program, DGCA also, along with the Ministry of Civil Aviation, ensured that the percolation of this technology happens to the last man on the ground. We ensured that the trainings are conducted in the vernacular languages. Even few of our manufacturers have also programmed their ground control system to reflect the local languages, so that it becomes easier for them to understand, qualify and operate the machine in this particular manner. That's how the evolution has occurred, and because of collaboration between the government departments and a very, I would say, involved industry, we have been able to take it forward. So that's regarding that. And the future proposal, as we have on the board, are the enabling BV laws. Mr. Smith Shah has already mentioned the benefit we would accrue out of, that's not denied, and actual potential would be realized once we have a BV laws in place. And obviously the Quality Council, DGCA, DFI, they are working together to put a policy that would ensure that we have the drones capable of making those kind of flying engagements and helping the industry infrastructure growth and giving a very cost-effective manner. So besides that, we are also looking at the training requirements of the people. And in this respect, we recently had a meeting with the delegation from Australia also, because they are planning to operate advanced air mobility vehicle, unmanned advanced air mobility vehicle, and we exchange our notes how they are looking at the training of their pilots to ensure that this happen, because what is here is a bigger version of what we are doing. So that is a kind of thing with regard to BV loss operation, so very much on our radar. And another thing which is very exciting and emerging at the moment is that people are going beyond the 35 kg up to 30 kg drone. It's very exciting to see that now we have one of the operator launching a drone which is more than 450 kg. And that is something future when it comes to the logistic, when it comes to long range transportation, and when we are enabling BV loss with such kind of large vehicles, this will actually give a transformation to entire process of activities which we are intending to operate here. So that is a cost effective, easier way to do. So that is the focus area, and for that, obviously, because at the moment our certification schemes are limited to 150 kg of drone. So now with this kind of drones coming into the picture, so we'll have a new horizon opening up to us, and we are working towards having those certification scheme also in place, that we are eager to have them doing a service, coming up in the service for the nation. So that's important part. But what I would also like to emphasize upon you is, because with all this emphasis on drones, this is a good platform for us to transform into advanced air mobility, which will transform urban air mobility, rural operations. So yes, a question has been raised regarding, before I dwell upon advanced air mobility, with regard to the kind of inflow that will come to DGCA. Yes, that would be a tremendous 80 to 100, that's what we look at. That's a huge amount of work which will be coming to DGCA, and for that, with regard to Delta certification, we already have the EGCA process modified that will provide a quick solution from the lengthy solutions at the moment we have. So that will give a lot of relief to the industry, that if they are doing this, and with QCI we have developed the different levels of modifications, what action is needed for all of that, and obviously with the DFI and QCI pitching in, we have also developed a very shortest way and SOPs wherein we will be able to deal with such kind of scenarios. And obviously it is a process which we will face, and obviously this is also a good thing to say for us to improve our manpower, and we are already looking at having footprints in other states also, which would facilitate examination, assessments close to where the people are getting trained, where people are, the equipments are being certified. So that is the kind of expansion we are looking at, so that we are able to cater for these expansions. So when I talk to advanced air mobility, now I come back to that, that's a very exciting thing, and we would have, you would have read about people connecting between Connaught Place and Gurgaon. Well, that's a very far away thought because there are so many issues involved, but obviously this is going to happen, help people transport from airport to other areas, and for that also we have drawn our entire flight plan, how that would happen. So to facilitate that, at the moment what we have done is issued regulations or guidance with regard to how that machine would be certified. So now those regulations are based upon best international practices, available certification requirements. Those are being taken into consideration, and at the moment we have one advanced air mobility already in the certification process, and that is from IIT Incubation Center at IIT Chennai. So that's where we are. We are in the phase 2, and there's a lot of excitement around it. And another 2 have also joined, and we are working towards that. We have that process well in place. And another thing which we have done is about the vertiports. Now we know about the airports, we know about the heliports, but vertiport is a new infrastructure requirement which we have created for the operation of advanced air mobility vehicle. And to see that this doesn't remain just on paper, we are trying to engage the district administrations, the state administrations, and the airports, so that they have it part of their airport development plan, to look at it, look at the feasibility of having close to airport, because that will serve the most purpose. When somebody lands, he doesn't want to go through a taxi or a cab and take almost an hour to reach his place or his workplace. So if we have those things co-located at the airport and the corresponding infrastructure in the city, that will facilitate the mobility, cutting down the congestion. So that's what we are looking at. So that's a thrust here, and soon our Director General is going to engage that with all the district administrations to ensure that things are well understood, and that's the starting of the process. So that's starting of the process. So we will work, and obviously there's a timeline towards that. And we have the phase process, as we have drawn for the advanced air mobility, looks at first operating those machines as helicopters, the way helicopters operate, manned operations, operating on the routes which are already being operated, the corridors already being operated by the helicopters, and subsequently moving towards the digital air traffic management system, giving a time for such technologies, such infrastructure to evolve and help us in the entire process. So, Director General, who is supposed to, who was very keen to address this gathering because he wishes to be part of the process where we hear the young minds, we hear the different, but because of his pressing engagements, he has excused, but he has conveyed his best wishes to all of you, and wishes that new thoughts and processes, understanding emerges from these sessions. So thank you very much, all of you, and thank you, PhD Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Munish Kumar. In fact, your speech is very enlightening, and because each and every point, whatever you said is definitely, people are seeking solutions, and you have solved many, queries. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite Dr. A. Raj, CU NBQP, for sharing his perspective with the audience. Since it's a QCI powered session, so who better than Dr. A. Raj can actually, address all of us. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Jiten ji. Thank you so much. Manish ji, thank you so much. Smith, Brajesh ji, Manish again. Thank you. And thank you, all of you. A lot of technical talks have happened. And I can see a lot of youngsters sitting here. So first of all, good afternoon. I do not see any energy. Good afternoon. Oh, that's good. Great. Excellent. So as I said, a lot of technical conversation have happened, and I can see a lot of youngsters sitting here. So I'm asking these youngsters, how many of you use a phone? Raise your hand. All, right? What a stupid question, right? How many of you have read the instruction manual end to end, page to page? That comes, that thick manual. Honestly, huh? I don't see any hands. How many of you young kids drive a scooty, car, or a bike? Raise your hand. A lot of you. How many of you gave an exam for a license? It's okay to lie here, it's fine. How many of you have read the manual that comes with your car or bike, that thick, mota manual बहुत होता है? किसने पढ़ा है वो अच्छे से end to end, page by page? Be very honest. Be very honest. One, two, very nice. Do you know you are driving a vehicle to kill, that can kill? Even a scooty can kill, a bike can kill, a car can kill. And don't you feel sad you have not read the instruction manual? So let me just tell you a very small short story, with your permission, Jiten ji. The first time I went outside the country a couple of decades back, I went to the US, and I had heard a lot about Hindi is okay with you guys, right? So मेरे को बड़ा सुना था मैंने हॉट डॉग्स के बारे में, और 25 साल पहले मैंने कहा ये खाना ज़रूर है मेरे को. So one fine sunny afternoon in Chicago, I went out, took $2 with me, and went to a hawker, and कि भाई give me a hot dog please. खाली पड़ा था हॉकर, थोड़ा बड़ा सा स्टेशन था, बिल्कुल खाली था, सुनसान था, कुत्ता बिल्ली पुलिस कोई नहीं था आसपास. And he said, stop there. So I got surprised. I thought मेरे को बोल रहे, किसको बोल रहा है? Then he said, stand behind that yellow line. 5 फीट दूर एक येलो लाइन थी, तो मैं पीछे आ गया. I mean, it's a different country, it's an unknown country. I didn't want to take a risk and say, क्यों? है ना? जैसा हम करते हैं यहाँ पे, मैं तो यहीं खड़ा हूँगा. So I went and stood behind that line. And for 5 minutes he kept on doing something. वो कुछ साफ कर रहा है, कुछ सफाई कर रहा है, कुछ कर रहा था वो. Then he said, okay, come. I went there and I said, can I have a hot dog with mustard? He said, okay, I'll make one. And I was dying of curiosity कि मेरे को 5 मिनट पीछे क्यों खड़ा किया इसने. Then I said, see, there was nobody here. There was no queue. There was nobody, absolutely nobody. Why did you make me stand behind? So he said, see, I just finished a lot of load of hot dogs. I was making French fries, वो बॉइलिंग ऑयल था, वो मैं इसको साफ़ कर रहा था, आपके ऊपर छिड़क सकता था। मैं बॉइलिंग वाटर से अपना काउंटर क्लीन कर रहा था, वो पानी आप पे आ सकता था, आप जल सकते थे। मेरे कुछ नाइफ्स वगैरह यहाँ रखे हुए थे, आप पास आते हाथ रखते, आपका हाथ कट सकता था। And he gave me 5-6 reasons why I needed to be 5 feet behind that yellow line. You know what he didn't tell me? He didn't tell me कि ये रेगुलेशन है, कैमरा लगाए, इंस्पेक्टर कभी भी आ सकता है, मेरा लाइसेंस कैंसिल हो सकता है। He didn't tell me that. Right? सीट बेल्ट लगा लो, मोड़ पे पुलिस है। Right? He didn't tell me that. He told me why that regulations is. So I'm very happy when I heard from Smith when he said these certifications and compliances are taken as enablers and not as burden. So learn, children, learn that the industry is not taking this as a compliance burden, because the industry knows the know-how, कैसे करना है, गाड़ी कैसे चलानी आता है, पर क्यों? The know why is equally important, if not more. So the learning for you is, I'm not asking you to go home and read the manuals, but please go home and read the traffic rules. I can guarantee you, not more than 50% rules you would know. One solid line, one broken line, one yellow line, crisscross on a lot of things, one just red box there. They all mean something. And you are driving a vehicle that can kill. Regulations are important. They are made with a reason. Regulations are what? They are bare minimum standards. इतना तो follow करना है. बाकी innovation उसके ऊपर है. Quality means continuous improvement, right? Regulation is bare minimum. और उसको आप burden की तरह लेके मत चलना. Whenever you rise in your fields, wherever you are working, take regulation as a, ये तो simple है, मेरे को इससे भी ऊपर बढ़ना है. Take it like that. And understand why that regulation is there. Fire license चाहिए, compliance नहीं, क्यों चाहिए? Right? Pollution consent, consent to operate, consent to establish, ये सुनने में लगता है इतने सारे compliances. But if you understand why those compliances, understand each and every parameter, read the manual end to end, you will understand why this is there, and it becomes very easy for you to fulfill them. And you will realize I can go way beyond it. So, as youngsters, you must realize that these compliances are made with a lot of thought. बहुत दिमाग लगता है इनको बनाने में, इन standards को और compliances को बनाने में. And वो ऐसे ही नहीं है कि मेरे को एक रात में ख्याल आया, चलो कल से ना दोनों को हेलमेट लगा देते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है. बहुत thought के बाद आता है. We've seen a lot of death of people who are not wearing a seat belt in the back seat also. Suddenly there is a law. Do not wait for this. Follow the best practices. So this is my learning for you today. We at QCI are doing a lot of quality promotion. We are promoting healthcare. We are also promoting the drone ecosystem. And I will request Smith, Manish ji and everyone, Brijesh ji, that very soon Dr. Pandey will be holding a Manthan which will involve all stakeholders. It will be a no holds barred discussion that will happen, wherein all stakeholders will be there to address whatever comes in. And in that Manthan, Manish has agreed to drink the wish. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, and wish you a pleasant day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think your talk was the icing on the cake for everybody. So can we have a big round of applause for all our dignitaries? They are the experts, and they are the ones who are making all the rules and making sure that we are safe, including growing the Indian drone ecosystem forward. So as a big thank you, may I request Dr. Jitendra Singh, our Deputy Secretary General from PHDCCI, to please present small mementos to our dignitaries. Mr. Manish Kumar, Joint DG, Director General of Civil Aviation. We have troubled sir for 2 days, but thank you so much, sir, for coming and for gracing the occasion and being open. So sir has an open door policy, he said, and you can ask him any questions. Thank you so much, sir. So, plant also. A big thank you to Shri Smith Shah, President of the Drone Federation of India. And sir has also been with us for the last 2 days. A big thank you to Mr. Mr. Brajesh Kumar from the Ministry of Agriculture. Thank you for coming in at the last minute. And mainly the session being powered by Quality Council of India. A big thank you to QCI, to Dr. A.K. Raj, requesting Dr. Manish Pandey sir and Pooja Shukla, Deputy Director NBQP, to join us on the stage. Manjuba, partner wala, partner. Requesting Pooja, Manish sir and Raj sir to please join us on stage. We would like to felicitate QCI. A big thank you for supporting the program and for being a big backbone in the last 2 Manthans. Thank you very much. Now we'll request our dignitaries to please felicitate our exhibitors also. Have I missed Smith? No, na? I've not missed you, na? Okay, so requesting Enord, Mr. Anas, to join us on the dais. We'll request the dignitaries to just present mementos to our exhibitors for taking out time. And Manish sir, please, Manish sir, Smith sir, please request all the dignitaries to join hands for the photo opportunity. Can we have a big round of applause? These are the founders and these are the people who are growing the drone industry. Thank you so much, Anand. Aerolite. Please, sir, all the dignitaries to join us in the center. Requesting Aerolite to join us on the dais. Dr. MGR, he's come all the way from Chennai. Dr. MGR, Naval and Aerospace Innovation. Sir. तालियां बजती रहें please. Thank you. Unnati Agri Allied and Marketing Multi-State Cooperative Society and Maru Drone Tech Private Limited. They are setting up a new academy also in the north, and with Marut drones, they'll make sure all the farmers get the right kind of support. Thank you so much. AITMC Ventures Limited, to please join us on the dais. Surya Uday Aerial Vehicles. PDRL. PDRL, come fast. JetJack Global. Mr. Jose from JetJack Global. FITT Delhi, they've brought in 5 startups. Drone Destination Limited. IFCO. I'll request Advanced Air Mobility Association for Innovation to join us on the dais. They are also setting up a new academy in the Advanced Airs, and they've all come. Bharat sir and Surya sir, to please come on the dais. Thank you. Bots and drones, they have been supporting us, and request them to come on the dais, please. Drone AI in, Mr. Jaggi. Please, thank you so much. Mr. Manish Jaggi. Any other exhibitor here that and a big thank you to Chakra Foundation partner who has co-created the strong program with us. Mr. Satyam, Wing Commander Satyam Kushwaha, retired, founder of Chakra Foundation, sir. Thank you for all the support in getting all the speakers and the VIPs. Thank you so much. Can we have a big round of applause? And anyone willing to intern with the foundation, they have a lot of opportunities. So, and a big thank you to Smith Shah, Drone Federation of India, for supporting us and being here. Thank you so much, sir. Again, requesting anyone from FITT or any other exhibitor who can come in. I think they're all busy outside, sir. So we'll request for a group photograph. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Tulsi sir, if you can join us on the dais, please. Thank you. Satyam sir, please. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. And I'll request everyone to be seated because we have some couple of very interesting presentations for you all to learn from. Thank you. So we'll start with our special presentations for today. I'll request Mr. Bharat Siram and Surya sir to please join us on the dais for their presentation. Sir, बैठे? हाँ सर आ रहे हैं. So they are the main people behind the Advanced Air Mobility Association for Innovation. Requesting all the students outside to please come back in and all the delegates to please join back in, please. So just a brief about Bharat sir. He's a visionary leader at the forefront of the Advanced Air Mobility and Urban Air Mobility Innovation Academy. He's the secretary of AAMAI and he's spearheading India's premier efforts in shaping the future of AAM, UTM, ATM, ASM and the next generation aerospace ecosystems. With over a decade of experience in aerospace defense and space, he has also been instrumental in advancing UAVs, drones, weapon platforms and future air mobility solutions across India, Middle East, APAC and Africa. He's an avid UAV pilot, technologist who works across a plethora of global companies to advance cutting-edge developments and business transformations. He has, beyond the leadership of AAMAI, he's also the founder of Aerostar Technologies Private Limited and Alternative Senses Private Limited, where he drives the cutting-edge advancements in aerospace and defense consulting. So he's a landmine of experience and knowledge, and I would suggest you all offline to please, touch base with him and learn how you can grow your careers further. So I will hand it over to Bharat sir to take it forward. Thank you so much.
First of all, thank you so much, ma'am. Welcome everyone, distinguished guests, esteemed industry leaders, government representatives, aviation enthusiasts, students. They say sky is the limit, but I feel it is just the beginning. So for all aviation enthusiasts looking at any kind of aerial platform, it is important that we have to move forward, explore the unknown, whether it is just within the earth or outer space. So I, Bharat Sriraman, I work with Advanced Air Mobility Association, which for innovation, we are here to discuss the extraordinary transformation that would revolutionize the way we connect, commute, and connect business. It's an absolute honor to stand before you and embark on a journey that would redefine the future of air travel. I'll start with my presentation. Advanced Air Mobility is an association earning to lead India's arm revolution. We wish to unify stakeholders for policy advocacy, foster technological innovation, promote research and development to drive India's leadership in creating advanced air mobility technologies that are viable for global and domestic utilization. We wish to develop infrastructure and skilled workforce, like as mentioned by the Joint Director General on vertiports and other technologies that are upcoming, which is neither airports or heliports, which would be the core pillars of such operations. And the most important thing of any mobility revolution is social acceptance and public trust, which I think is one of the key areas of interest for India, because as a diverse country, the social and societal acceptance of new technologies is paramount, and that defines the industry. Our vision and mission is to establish India as a global leader in sustainable and innovative advanced air mobility, fostering seamless connectivity, economic growth, and environmental stewardship. We strive to unify stakeholders, drive technological innovation, advocate for robust policies, creating a safe, efficient, and inclusive arm ecosystem in India. What does a unified platform for progress look like? Any association or industry representation or a domain advocating, I would say, establishment would work on research and development, knowledge dissemination, explicit collaboration, policy advocacy, events and roundtables for sensitizing, including stakeholders, and safety standards, which are most paramount as defined by the representatives from QCI. And finally, skill development. Skill is, I would believe, is the pillar of any domain, and that would only help us frog leap in any technological advancement. And India is one of the youngest and the topmost skilled force as on date in the entire world. We wish to bridge the global and local expertise, because I believe India is no more just a country today, but it is in the path of becoming a global superpower. And all geopolitical decisions now have India as part of their committee or panel, or even to have some certain recommendations. Cross-functional working groups, which now the government has pioneered with variety of schemes, taking in people from the industry, is addressing a lot of challenges through various bodies, including all the industry stakeholders, for taking decisions that would benefit the country as one. Make in India is a very fantastic approach that has been driven by the government, and I believe that self-sustenance is the key to have a nation that can have absolute self-reliance, not just from the hardware, software, firmware, or even R&D perspective, but a holistic supply chain perspective, so that entire ecosystem is made in India. The four, I would say, driving pillars of the association are global collaborations, because the knowledge dissemination and the development that is taking place across the globe is something that one should learn from, and we should be able to utilize it in a way that it is tailor-made to solve the challenges of our country. With a Make in India focus, as you would have heard, a lot of companies are now developing air vehicles. Some of them are coming out and giving possible demonstrations as well. And countries like the Middle East, Europe, and the US are now at the final legs of demonstration. India very soon will also start, because we have a very, very robust and a growing air travel ecosystem, which is currently between cities. The regional transportation is increasing, the affordability has increased, and people wish to travel a lot, and the passenger traffic is a testimony that going forward, the local connectivity, for example, say Gurgaon, Noida, Delhi, the NCR region also will have certain commute challenges which can be easily solved through advanced air mobility. R&D and innovation, as I see a lot of students, a lot of academia community here. What Sir had told in the previous session from the QCI, that one should look at certifications, compliances, not as a burden, but as a basic benchmark. I come from a background of aeronautics. For us, what any aviation professional, if you ask, standards and standard operating procedures are paramount. It is not a burden, it is a way of life. For us, it is most important that all innovators, academia, collaborators, it is so important to understand that why should we set our baseline benchmarking when we are designing a system? Redundancies, identification of vulnerabilities, identification of risk mitigation, all these things need to be embedded at the design level of any platform that is at project level. One should also look at an export-ready ecosystem. Gone are those days where India was totally dependent on various countries for different kind of platforms. Today, there is a major shift in the global arena to look at other countries apart from China to get systems from countries such as India. So whenever you are designing or developing a system, as an aviation professional, my recommendation would be to look at global standards which could be satisfied when a prototyping stage or a production stage, and make your product export ready as well, and not just only cater to the domestic needs. The map actually shows you which countries are active in the advanced air mobility domain. And you see, though this is a little older slide, but then now a lot of other countries have also started, because for them transitioning from drone operations to passenger and heavy cargo mobility is something, is the need of the hour. So the challenges of advanced air mobility, though many of you would know, but I would walk you through, are regulatory framework and certification. With the support of agencies like Quality Control of India, DGCA, I think we will be in a very good position under their guidance to overcome these things, to frog leap in the market. Safety, reliability, and cyber security, because India as a nation is the epicenter of global data harnessing. Everyone is carrying a mobile. Every app that you use is having some kind of data exchange that we are providing to the developers or the manufacturers, which is being used or is into cross-pollination across the world. Infrastructure development, I did touch upon this regarding vertiports, charging stations. If we are envisaging electric aircrafts, say doing sorties from Gurgaon to Connaught Place, for example, we need to have a robust charging infrastructure, battery swapping mechanisms, ensuring availability of electricity. And because India is now is at a very high energy consumption, equally sustainable or renewable energy has to increase to cater for the next decade with the percentage curve that we are looking at for energy consumption. Skill development, because these aircrafts would be either optionally piloted or would have complete autonomy. The product life cycle as well as the maintenance is something which would be highly skill dependent. And today, India is, through various programs under the Government of India, industry collaboration, the upskilling is going in a very fantastic way. And we also believe that for advanced air mobility, there's not just the exclusive upskilling of the aviation field or the drone field. This has to cross-pollinate between these two domains to increase or grow multifold in terms of the skilling characteristics of every individual. One of the biggest challenges is air traffic management and unmanned traffic management. The traditional flying that is happening either with IFR or VFR and the current approaches that are taken by a variety of aircraft that are flying, whether rotary wing or fixed wing, and also the drones, is something we need to look at judiciously, because today some of them are operating in line of sight. Tomorrow some of them will need beyond visual line of sight. And going forward, it will be an interjection of different service altitudes of various aircrafts flying in the same zone without having any kind of conflict. So we call it decongestion and deconfliction. Scalability and mass adoption is because people today also, I think driverless cars are being operated in variety of countries. But the complexity of Indian roads everyone is aware of. A similar issue is also with the civil airspace, with a lot of congestion being concentrated in certain metro geographical areas of the nation. So it is not only scalability of the operations, but it is also the scalability and sustainability of mass adoption and congestion management at the ground level for top mile, mid mile and last mile connectivity. All said and done, unless this particular segment is affordable, the local lower income group and the middle income group would not be keen on availing these services. So cost effectiveness, affordability, and a sustainable practice of keeping those costs in tap is most important. Though it is a very premier, I would say, domain when it comes to aircrafts, airlines. But the most important thing is, how do we enable every person to fly in this domain? Apart from this, it is not only mobilization of people, emergency services, logistics, rescue, disaster management, inaccessible area, rapid delivery, and you all are aware with the QSR platforms today, everyone is able to get things under 10 minutes. Now, given that kind of I would say, solution that is implemented in India in a wide scale, I think this kind of transit or transportation would also have an expectation from the crowd to reduce the travel time significantly. Our roadmap that as we envisage, and with the guidance and support of all the subject matter experts across the world, is the 5 pillars, I would say, is foundation and awareness building, formal registration and policy engagements at all levels, research and pilot projects. You would have heard a lot of companies are getting into for certifications, demonstrations, infrastructure and policy development like the vertiport rules that have come out, deployment and expansion, commercialization of these services. Today, everyone is working into research and development, coming out. How sustainable would the commercialization of these technologies? And as a nation of a big population, I think our strength lies there to commercially exploit this technology. Then a nationwide urban air mobility expansion, a seamless travel across the entire nation is the vision for our association. We are aligned with the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of 2047. We wish to make India a global superpower in advanced air mobility domain. every manufacturer, service provider, aggregator, maintenance agency, training and skilling center, whichever domain you take, is actually looking at India as one of the biggest markets. Our strength lies in this. Though other countries would be championing advanced air mobility, but India as a nation has always frog-leaped. And as I was discussing with one of the stakeholders previously, one of the beautiful examples that I looked at was skipping Bharat stage 5. So it was 4 to 6. Some manufacturers were unhappy, but then I think it was a very big decision for India. And we championed it. And really, it was a very big leap, and the grit, determination, and the solid foundation of research that led to execution of such a big thing. Similarly, in advanced air mobility, we believe that a self-reliant nation with a global export dominance can only be done when we champion this ecosystem by enabling sustainable indigenous advanced air mobility, even to the smallest of subdomains such as battery recycling, battery repurposing. So it is all the small pillars that would contribute, because when you consider one single sortie or air operation of advanced air mobility, it at least involves 30 to 35 stakeholders from the government, from the industry, from the operators, to aggregators like Ola, Uber, whoever it is, who are assimilators or aggregators of service. I believe every one of us, whoever is in this particular domain of industry, whether it is drones, aviation, or ancillary technologies, should strive to contribute to this particular domain so as to enable us to champion this and realize the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister as well as the government. So that brings me to the conclusion of my presentation. And we have the credentials of our Vice President, Mr. Suryakant Sharma, and myself are on the screen. I would encourage everyone to visit our website, learn about the things that are happening in the market. Also, be part of the ecosystem in whatever capacity, because together we can grow and we'll soar high in this domain. And thank you so much, sir, for providing me with this opportunity. And I wish everyone a good day ahead, and Jai Hind.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. It was a very nice presentation, and we got to know a lot of new things in the presentation. Thank you very much for sharing your perspective also. I'd like to invite Mr. Sharma for sharing his perspective briefly for 2 minutes.
Hi, very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, PHDCCI, for organizing this wonderful session and a wonderful Drone Manthan season. And it's definitely gonna a lot of push us forward, encourage us to build up a good ecosystem. And representing AMAI is a fortunate part of my life. But I can say one thing is that I know I don't want to get into the lunch and the speech, but to make it simple, advanced air mobility, I know everybody be looking forward for the flying bird, which is the e-taxis. So if I were to relate it with the Hollywood movie or a Bollywood movie, you must be thinking Shah Rukh Khan is getting ready, Salman Khan is getting ready, Akshay Kumar is getting ready, Deepika Padukone, or so and so. But understand that they are the front actors. You want to see them, right? But there is a full force of team working on the background, lyricist, musician, director, photographer, curtain raisers. So the entire team makes a good movie out of it where you can enjoy. So while you're seeing that there are a lot of flying birds companies which are working in this domain, but don't underestimate the power of the people who are working on the technology side, who are integrating those machines on the ground, ensuring that your safety and your availability or your affordability is made available by them. So it's a complete ecosystem that we want to bring together under AMAI, so that finally you can decide that if I want to go for an event, distance and traffic is not a problem. Right now, I guess most of the people who are sitting here, if they are coming from nearby, wonderful, but if they are coming from abroad or very far away, then I guess the challenge would be kaun jaye itni dur by God. Cancel karte hain. Let's do it other time. So this is professional, but on the personal level also, I'm sure you guys are missing out your friends, your family members, and what all. So if advanced air mobility comes into realization, let's say 3 to 5 years down the line in India, imagine you will not miss any family function. You will not miss any official function with the stress that I have to travel on road with so much of traffic jam. So that's the dream that we have in our mind, to ensure that you can fly from point A to point B easily, fastest, and without any stress, with your smiles on the face. So thank you very much. I request all to join, become the member of AMI to contribute to this success. And thank you, sir, for letting us speak.
तालियां तो सुनाई नहीं दी. Thank you so much. Thank you.
खाने से पहले तालियां मुश्किल है.
नहीं, अभी हमारे पास और presentations हैं, sir. So, but thank you so much for coming on board and for partnering with us for the program. It's a big success because we have partners like you. And I'll request Dr. Jitendra Singh, sir, to please present mementos to our esteemed panelists, Mr. Bharat Raman, Secretary AAMAI. Thank you for being here, sir, from yesterday and interacting with us. And we will look forward to learning from your experience. A thank you to Mr. Surya Kumar, who reached out to us and who is the driving force behind AAMAI. Any questions, please come and talk to both of them. Thank you. Thank you so much. So now we would like to invite Wing Commander Satyam Kushwaha, retired, founder of the Chakra Foundation and the director of Chakra Dialogues Foundation. They have co-created the program with us and they have been a big support, and all the expert speakers that you have seen throughout yesterday and today are all connects of sir, and we'll request sir to please come on stage. And I guess he's the better person who can introduce himself. He has a big biodata of 2 pages, so I request sir to please introduce himself and take it forward. A big round of applause for sir. Thank you so much. Yogesh ji.
A very good afternoon to all of you. थोड़ा सा और energy lunch आ रहा है. So firstly, a big thank you to PHDCCI for having given us this opportunity to present a brief about the Chakra Dialogues Foundation. And a very special thank you to all of you for being kind enough to be a brilliant audience, so that I can connect with you and convey my message to you about what I could do for your future. So the genesis of the Chakra Dialogues Foundation starts in 2000, maybe 13, 14 period. when I was part of the National Security Council. And I was you can take me as a forefront fighter of the geospatial industry. And that is a time when I was doing a lot of work on how to initiate geospatial reforms in India. And somewhere there, I had started the work on the drafting of the new geospatial policy, the National Geospatial Policy, which was adopted by the Government of India in December 2022. I hope I'm right, that period? Okay, so that was the time when I had made a paper. And before that, I had visited almost every lab where any geospatial activity was being conducted all over the country. And I found a lot of gaps. And as a start point of that, I thought that let me create a WhatsApp group which will bring people from different streams, academia, industry, everybody together on a common platform so that we could deliberate and come out with something which is more people-friendly and industry-friendly. So that was the main aim. And I called this initiative at that time Kranti. And trust me, it was a big challenge that time because, first of all, I was a serving officer in National Security Council, and there were too many rules and regulations on, joining a WhatsApp group, let alone being an admin of that group. So it was with a lot of effort that I was able to convince my leadership to take that, for me to do that. And I put my bosses in the group only, with an understanding that whoever cries the most, we will invite them to NSCS and we'll listen to them. And we will not take any punitive action. So I must share with you that at that time I had taken out almost 2,500 pages of chat, removed the identities and listed out where the problems of the industry were. And thereafter, a lot of that went into the first draft that came out on the 6th of May, 2016. And there was a very draconian bill that was proposed to be introduced at that time. And that was a Geographic Information Regulatory Bill, which at that time you should talk about that if you have a wrong map in possession, you could be tried and you had a lot of compensation to pay. So there was a lot of effort done at that time by me and some of my seniors who were there, I will not name them, to put that into cold storage. Because I don't think so it was good for the country at that time. So this initiative started around that, and this group was created on the 16th of September thereafter on 2016. So that was the first group of Kranti, and Kranti stands for Knowledge, Resources, Analytics, Networks, Technology, Innovation, Integration. So that's that's how I designed the flow of energy. That was how it was happening in my mind. And from there, it has kind of now become 124 groups on nation building covering 65 verticals, which will vary from technology to national security to social impact to bringing people together from various formats to deliberate on issues of national importance. So this is how it all started. In terms of contribution, I generally have been a guy who likes to work from behind the scenes, because I had a fantastic boss who's Dr. Arvind Gupta in the Vivekananda International Foundation. Now he was the deputy NSA. And he told me one thing, that Satyam, if you want things to happen, find flag bearers, enable them. Don't go for visibility. And I think I adopted that dharma to bring people from various organizations together so that we could move forward. And in that process, we contributed on a lot of issues that you see on the left side. I'm not going to read them out, but primarily it was on that. Then the major call of reckoning came to me on the 31st of July 2018. That was the day my farewell speech was being read in National Security Council, and I got a call from the Southern Naval Command in Kerala that the Udiki Dam is crossed the danger mark and they need a solution what to do about it. Should we open, should we not release the water? So I said, sir, I'm not a qualified person on this. So he says, I said, speak to ISRO and others. He says, nobody is responding to us. Time is critical. So I gave them about 10-minute voice note on what has to be done. That was a sum total of what I had all read, understood in my professional career. And I told him that this is not an NSCS solution, because this is my last day. So in case anything goes wrong, I'll stand trial for that, and you can take my word for that. So that was a bet of my life. In that, I gave them a how to, how many villages have to be moved where, and I just had a mobile in my hand, normal Google Maps that you have, and the normal contours, open source data. I just went through it, applied my mind, how the water will come and how much has to be evacuated, and I gave them very detailed understanding of how to plan it, including how to use telecom data. I'm sure you must be using telecom data, how to map out pregnant ladies, people who need blood, diabetic patients, heart patients, using WhatsApp, and so a lot of, I don't want to bore you with that, but that plan worked. And the population of Ernakulam district is about 42 lakhs. I really don't know how many people would have been saved, but I'm given to understand by the Navy in the citation they sent me that it was countless. The only people who died were the people who refused to vacate that place. They didn't want to part with their homes. So that was the first call of reckoning, and that came on the Kranti ecosystem. Then the second one was COVID time. So during COVID, overnight when we saw that the surge of things were happening, so I run an emergency response system also, 24/7, and it runs till today. It will continue, and it is about saving human lives. It's about humanity. So during COVID, my team, we saved 3,500 people all over the country free of cost, and specifically between SPO2 30 to 50 zone, which included end-to-end handling of patients from the time we identified a patient to prioritization, connecting with the families, keeping the morale up, managing oxygen till the time the bed was available, and it could take 2 to 3 days, and I'm sure you all recall those days, and taking a patient into the hospital, managing the family, getting medicines delivered to them, like tocilizumab was 15 lakh in black per dose, we got them free. So that is the impact factor I'm talking about. And otherwise in thousands, तो ऐसी मतलब जो छोटा मोटा तो था वो तो अभी अनगिनत है. So all these activities are happening in Kranti, and it was just a loose ecosystem of WhatsApp. And that is the time people started coming after me that create an ecosystem which is formal, which can do much more specific work and a structured work. And that is the time a lot of deliberation. So what I'm going to present to you is 2.5 years of deliberation of why I want to do it and how I want to do it. And trust me, this entire workforce that worked to save these human lives during COVID were actually first year girls of 4 colleges who had not seen even the front face of their college because of COVID. And they came from very average backgrounds. They themselves were losing people in their family, but they're still delivering. And you'll be surprised that there were about 400 girls, and they managed everything round-the-clock operations for 4 months without a single time me having to tell them why I think a person roster is not taken care of. So that is the power of the youth. So many times, people say that the youth are, they need to be given more focus. Yes, Margdarshan is important, but I bet my life on this youth because I've seen it happening, and I take pride in those kids and they were from JDMC college, they were from Kalindi, there were some from LSR, there was some from Rashtriya Raksha University. So there were 4 colleges, and the force was created in one night and only 1 hour of briefing, and they were life saviors. So the transition from a Netflix operating kid to a life savior and taking critical decisions on saving a life, the 1 hour of briefing, and they were automated. So that is, so that is the genesis of what I'm going to talk to you today. The Kranti ecosystem comes with people from first year students to serving ministers and serving governors. Every profession that you can think of exists in this ecosystem. Whether they are crack AI guys, to defense, to police forces, to the civil services, to a person who's into music, poetry and shairi also. So this ecosystem caters for all, because finally it's a whole of nation approach which makes a nation. When I see these chakras, every element of this chakra is important. or the spoke is important. One spoke not working properly means that is where your weakness will hit you. So basically what we are trying to do is we are trying to do nation building and build India's comprehensive national power as it is transitioning from a $4 trillion economy today to the next leap of $10 trillion and $15 trillion. So the vision is big, and that is, we are not in competition with anybody, but we want to work together with everybody to connect the dots so that India's comprehensive national power builds and India gets its rightful place. The first focus is the youth only. And the genesis of this goes back again to my NSCS days. You may be remembering Rohtak riots had taken place in 2016-17 period where 20,000 crores were wiped off in 5 days. And that kind of triggered my mind to research on this subject. So I got a PhD from Delhi University on anthropology. And we got into the depth of why these problems are happening. So a lot of things which you will also encounter as a drone guys were the reducing land parcels and the consequent challenge of that on families. Okay, so that is a time when we worked on how to solve this problem of youth employability, and I came out with a concept of enhancing youth employability by applied skilling of NCC youth. Why NCC? Because there's a discipline factor there. So I thought I'll start there. And that is where this whole thing, so we had 28 agencies from Government of India who had unanimously supported it that time, including defense, paramilitary, intelligence, and QCI, UGC, AICT, everybody was involved in it. But sadly, I just was finishing my tenure in SCS, so it didn't take off. But I got the sense of it, and that is what I'm trying to do. So the biggest problem I see in this country is putting our youth to the right direction and getting them jobs. China, Pakistan will get sorted out. But this, if it is not sorted out, it will create a chaos for your country. So that is where I'm trying to focus my efforts, is first of all research on which are the areas where there is a fill in the blanks and how we take lead on various sectors in the next 5, 10, 15-year period, and then start working from day one on how do we take it forward. So that is the first focus area. Second is to support building companies with high value IPR and make them resilient and insulated from global geopolitics so that they grow and create jobs. So again, it is related to creating jobs. And ownership, because today we may be an IT superpower, but we are slaves. Because we are like fodder to the IPR which is controlled outside. And if you have to be Atmanirbhar, the most important thing is you have to create ownership of IPR in this country. So that is where the focus is. And then the third thing is to create thought leaders who think multi-sectoral and who are able to connect supply chain, geopolitics, and the technology, as well as the cultural dimensions of adoption of technology at local level as while thinking globally. And that is where the second focus is there. And the third and the most important thing, which I think was discussed in the previous session in a certain way, is to create a workforce which is skilled but full of ethics. Because in India, you cannot generate all the jobs. Manpower or human resources will have to go outside. So wherever you go, you may have the best skill, but if you're ethically not okay, you will face a challenge. So that is where this chart comes into play, and we are culturally neutral. I mean, Kranti ecosystem by design was culturally neutral. I never had any problems. All people from every political thought, religious thought are there, but there is no talk of that. It's only nation building and only nation building, ruthlessly nation building, and nothing else. Okay? So we are focusing on connecting to the roots, and especially for entrepreneurs, because many of you are entrepreneurs here. So focus is on building entrepreneurship. So what are the skills that are required to make people get into that? That is our assessment. And thereafter, how to make them better human beings and more legally aware, financially aware, so that they take informed decisions. Here I like to, if you talk about the gist of this, LPG-SST. It's an acronym which has worked in my life. LPG is legally, politically, grammatically correct. And SST is Sundar, Susta, Tikau. So whenever you are in a dilemma, if you use this, it will see you through. Okay, Now, what is comprehensive national power? Comprehensive national power is about various dimensions of a nation and how you define how powerful it is. Now, let me take you to Europe today. Europe is under total chaos. They're trying to do something which is not possible for them to do. They're distributed, they don't have those kind of forces, and they're still trying to become tigers and trying to fight a war which is not sustainable. You see India. India sandwiched between two nuclear powers who are adversarial to you, who do not like your existence, they're trying to finish you. So what you have done is over the last 70, 75 years, maybe 77 years now, sorry, pardon me for my maths, we have built our capacities and we have taken it on that Atmanirbharta is our goal. This is what Europe is realizing after ruling the world, chaotic chaos in the world, spreading slavery and colonialism all over the world, and having depleted all those advantages because of a stupid war. So India is a very evolved nation. Strategic patience, strategic restraint has paid us, and today we are on a different journey. And to make India great, these are the parameters on which we are trying to work on. We are multi-sectoral. So when we look at these sectors, it may seem very overwhelming, but somewhere down the line, they are connected to the center point. When you look at chakra and the center, that is the center point of the power. And these are the spokes which are feeding into it. And how do you interconnect it? I'll give you a small example. Space industry in India is moving ahead. They need connectors, they need 9-axis precision action. Dental implants also need that implant. So those guys are importing from outside. So if you create an ecosystem where the same dental industry can meet the requirement of connectors and high precision titanium parts, you're giving more relevance, or you're giving more capacity to that already installed capacity. You're reducing imports, but you're giving it at a lower cost. That is Atmanirbharta. So you need to create circular economies, and that is where I want to work with the youngsters of today. When they are going to do, you have to collaborate. I remember flying Russian aircrafts. So there was a massive level of national level standardization, an attitude indicator, whether it is a MiG-21 or a MiG-27, this thing had the same type. Similarly, a slip indicator would be of the same type. So imagine the scale. You don't have to compete against each other and everything. यहाँ पर ना सब अपना अपना करना है. तो उससे क्या हो रहा है कि जो your ability to get scale is reducing. What you need to think is what best who's doing. Let's connect it and add more value. Then things will change. So you will need to bring scale into your, and that is what we are trying to do. So this is how we think. Whole of society, whole of nation, building comprehensive national power, and secure India's national interest. यहीं पैदा हुए हो, यहीं रहोगे, यहीं मरना है, और यही जो अब बनाओगे इसको अपनी नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को देना है. So might as well work in national interest rather than being distributed because of various thoughts which distract us from the main aim. That is what Chakra is about. As far as the structure is concerned, we have 4-tier structure. So we have a think tank which does all the analysis, research, simulation, everything. Thereafter, we have consultancy with special focus on startups. I have close to 1,600 experts available in my ecosystem directly. And they are veterans from all different types of organizations. So anything that you think about is available here and ready to fire. And what we intend to do is we intend to take startups from their thinking stage right down to the end stage. Just to break down, we intend to engage with universities and ecosystems where there could be possibility 3-4 categories. One is, sir, मेरे को skill है पर मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा क्या बनाना है. So then I'll tell him, okay, you can make this, because having been in the armed forces and having steered the Indian space industry for 4.5 years now, so I have a fair understanding of what is required inside in the deep tech area. Second, and this is not me, my entire ecosystem. Second thing that comes into play is that people have made a product, but that if with our vision we can enhance it. For example, there's a product which is IP65, but I know that by adding one feature and making it IP68, it can become a world-class product and compete somewhere else. So that is the value we can bring to the table. The third one is where you go to universities, you say, और हमारे यहाँ ना इतने बच्चों ने ये काम किया है, but वो किताब दीमक लग रही है ना उस पर, तो उस दीमक को हटा के उस चीज़ को कैसे वैल्यू क्रिएट करना है, that is what we work. Don't miss out on the wisdom that has been created. We all are encyclopedias of knowledge individually, but how do you bring together into a critical mass and weaponize it? That is what India needs. See Ukraine. The rate at which their technology is changing, it's changing every 10 days, 5 days, maybe overnight. So that is the firepower you need and the industrial sustainability to sustain that. Right? That is where we need to be, and better than that. So that is how you should start thinking, and it's been discussed enough yesterday, so I'll not overload you with that. And then is the skilling and the training center to make, I think I've already covered that aspect, and the communications part of it. So briefly, this is how our, where our strengths lie. And this is what I've, I think, already covered. We intend to create centers of excellence in various universities and institutions where we offer these services. These services by Chakra would vary from technology development, end-to-end products, strategic guidance, financial taxation, investments and IPR, as well as policy advocacy. These are some of our flagship programs. We also have a deep social impact program, so we are working on counter drugs by teaching people how to say no to them. So we are already active in the district of Greater Noida, Ghaziabad, Meerut, Muzaffarnagar, Roorkee, where ground level work is happening. I also intend to create workforce of students who are interested in internships, who will work with me on ground to bring a change on ground. So all those people who are looking for Saraswati, come to me. You're looking for Lakshmi, go somewhere else. Because I am a bootstrapped guy, but what I can do is I can convert a person with fire into a brilliant leader of tomorrow. We have just launched one project Salute. This is on AI, where we are intending to target about 152 institutions where we will be setting up GPUs for AI training and AI teaching. And this is something which is already on. These are the kind of mentors we have in our ecosystem, so you will get an understanding of what level we are working with. Thank you for your patient timing. And a big thank you to Bhavna ma'am for making it happen.
So big thank you to Sir. And in case he hasn't introduced himself, just a minute. Entry se left. To please join us on the dais. He has 27 years of professional experience and is a third generation military officer and a veteran fighter pilot. So you can take out the man from the uniform, but you cannot take out the uniform from the man. So a big round of applause for his service to the industry. Thank you very, very much, sir. Any questions you people have? So you can ask him offline or online. And I'll just say a big thank you to sir. So now we are at our last presentations for today, and we are very honored to have with us Mr. Manveen Chadda, Senior Manager Incubation, FITT, IIT Delhi. They are the incubation center who are growing with the young startups. And And we are also privileged to have Ms. Garima Vij, product specialist from PDRL. You would have seen their drone being displayed outside, and a software company as well. So I'll request both of them to join us on the dais and take you through their presentations. A big round of applause for Manveen sir and Garima ji. Thank you very much. बस इसके बाद लंच मिल जाएगा तो थोड़ी जोर से तालियां मार देते हैं इन लोगों के लिए. They are coming from their work straight and to educate all of us. So thank you so much. So I'll request Garima to start with her presentation.
So good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure being here, and I appreciate your time and interest. Special thanks to the PHDCCI and Bhavna ma'am for giving us this opportunity to present our software solution. That's AeroMake. AeroMake is a GeoAI platform which is built with, from a company called PDRL. I, Garima, representing PDRL here, and PDRL is a pioneer company in the drone-based software solutions related to any, to change or to automate the GIS data with precision and ease. So today, I'm excited to present AeroMake Intelligence precisely by PDRL. AeroMake is a SaaS platform where you can change your or convert your drone-based data into actionable insights with precision and ease. To gather some, while doing research, we have gathered some information from internet that these are some market trends going on in the drone industry. So, but this is all about at the world level. So as Indians, what we are doing, how we are contributing in the drone industry, this is a matter of fact to be discussed about. So I would like to say that we need to come together. As Satyam sir has mentioned, that we need to collaborate. Some people are doing manufacturing of drones, some people are doing only the software. So we are doing only the software. So we can come together and provide and grow this industry in whole strength. So there are some challenges that we are facing. So far we are using just the foreign-based softwares. There are some challenges using those software that you need to invest in the capex, you need to invest in the hardware, you need to invest in the licensing cost, and there is an issue with the scalability also. Plus there is so far you need to do the manual annotations. So on AeroMake we have incorporated the GIS with artificial intelligence, so you don't need to do the manual annotations on your data. So this is how we are come together and presenting AeroMake, because on our platform you can basically just bring your GIS data or the orthotiff images, do the manual annotations on to detect your detectors, and build your own machine learning models. With the help of those detectors, you can detect your images or the object, you can do the counting of objects if there is any defects in your data, so that can be analyzed with our platform. There is a team functionality also on our platform, where you can simply just collaborate with your relevant team members or the stakeholders. You can share your projects with the limited access. Like for some reasons, you don't need to give a complete access to some people of your data, like you do not want them to download your data to their device. So in that case, you can give the limited access. These are some key features of our platform, like you can do the defect detections or object counting. You can have the measurements analysis on our platform using the measurement tools that are present on our platform. Then there is a chain detection feature. If there is a progress monitoring in the construction site, then you can see like what is present now in the same imagery or at the same location, which is not present later on. So that can be change detection can be analyzed from our platform. Again, there is a team functionality, as there is a small picture. Like you can see, you can give the limited access to your projects to the relevant team members. As Smith sir has mentioned in the earlier session, that what are the key differentiators in your product. So we have some features to be listed here, like we are a SaaS-based platform, and all your data will be hosted on the MyTM panel cloud. So there is no, no need to invest in the hardware or in the capex. So there is no need to buy any licensing cost. So you just need to have your data hosted on the platform and pay for the storage you are using on the cloud. So it's very simplest platform to train your own machine learning models, because the detectors available on the website, maybe you are not want to use the same detectors, so you can train your own models on your own data set. So, and again, easy sharing and the collaboration of reports of your data with the team members. To list a few, there can be multiple use cases of AeroMake, but to list a few, there are some use cases like in the transmission tower inspection. You can have the defect detection, like you can count the components of the tower. There can be a vegetation analysis, like because when vegetation grows, majorly around the tower, that can be hazardous, that can initiate fire. So to prevent that, there is a vegetation detection feature on our platform. You can do the component counting also, like if there is any component missing in the tower, so that can be analysis can be done. Again, SAG analysis can be another use case. You can be done on transmission tower inspection. In the agriculture, we are using the crop agriculture data, like you can do the disease detection, crop counting, or vegetation quality or plant health analysis can be done. Or in case in the forestry, for example, if you are implanting a new forest, so starting from digging the pits to the planting, seeding, and to monitoring the progress of the plants. All criteria can be followed, and that can be analyzed on our platform. In the urban planning, we have various use cases, like you can do the mapping of your mapping of the footprints of the buildings, rooftop detections, area calculations, and encroachment assessment can be done. And city assets, like if you want to map like how many temples are present in a particular area, how many hospitals are there to be present in a particular area for the decision making, or to map the distance between, like if there is any accidental case in any area, so to get a buffer area, how much time will take to transport like that patient to that hospital. So that can be done. In the construction, as I mentioned earlier, that progress monitoring can be done. So how much stages of the construction are completed, that can be tracked on our platform. There is safety monitoring, like if people have wear the helmets, PPK kits, etc. So they are, is there any compliant in the material marking? So that can be analyzed. Then in the solar panel inspection, defect detection can be done, like if, how much area is there and how much panel can be installed in a particular area, that can be done with this platform. This is a small video showcasing a use case or a workflow, like how our model can be helped to train the detectors. So this is how this detections is very easy. You just need to upload your images and need to annotate your images with a particular object. With a single detector, you can add multiple classes. So detectors can be trained on the JPEG or raw images that can be captured from drone, plus the orthomosaic images. This is an example for the JPEG images. where you just need to upload your images and start the annotations. You just need to upload or mark your objects on your images, and for that particular object, detector will be trained. And once the detector is trained for that particular object, then you can use the same detector on further images as well to track that object if there is any defect for that, or if that's the component is missing or not. So that analysis can be done. So this is how you can add multiple classes in a single detector. For example, if I'm adding or I'm detecting a detector for transmission tower, so I can add multiple classes for that. So whenever I'm using the same detector on any further images, all these classes or all these components will be detected from that image. So this is how it works. You see, training is very easy. Like, you just need to draw boxes of on the desired component, and that annotations will be added to that component's class. So it will detect whether it's a defect or a missing component, or even the count of that particular component in the whole data. That can be done. Once you have annotated, it will automatically train the detector, and once your detector is trained, it will become a detector, and you can use that same detector on further images, whether it's an orthomosaic or the raw images. And in those images, each and every component that is for which the detector has been trained, they will be detected out of images. Like in this image, insulators are detected 5. So, in any particular image, how many components are there, they will be detected against each and every class, and the report will be can be downloaded in a PDF format. So this is all about AeroMake. If you have any queries, we are at this stall number 9. So, yeah, please.
From what distance are you taking photos, and what resolution is required for that? And to that resolution, what qualitative factors are you able to get?
So we prefer like 30 to 40 meters of altitude to get the right number of resolution.
This is from the tower.
From the tower. Because we are providing the software only, so it's compliant with related to the drone service providers.
Right. So what sort of resolution is required in that?
Sorry?
What sort of photos resolution is required in that?
We are 2 centimeter of GSD we require to process this data.
And what qualitative factors are we drawing from that?
Like if there is any component missing or not, if if there is any defect or not in the tower. In fact, this help with the thermal data, we can get the temperature analysis also. Like if any component is beyond the range of that particular temperature, so that can be analyzed.
So are you doing that thermal analysis already?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Garimaji. And I think people have a lot of questions which we can take offline. Now it's our pleasure to invite Mr. Manveen Chadda, sir, Senior Manager, Incubation, FITT, IIT Delhi. He heads the Brilliant Minds of India. So I'll hand it over to him to take it forward, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So just to start with, how many of you are aware about what is FITT? IIT Delhi, everybody knows. What is FITT? No one. So we are a 30 years old organization, started in 1992. Okay, we are the, you can say, a special purpose vehicle created by IIT Delhi so that we can provide connect to industry academia. And now later on we started with the incubation center. So we support startups. Some of our startups are sitting here right now, okay, and they are the part of the panel discussion earlier yesterday and other events. So just to start with, we started in 1992, as I mentioned, and this is the journey, how we started. Then in around 1992, there was no incubation such. किसी को पता नहीं था entrepreneurship, incubation ये सब क्या होता है. So everybody was talking about how to connect industry to the academia. So whoever professor working in the lab, if they are at some TRL 2, 3 level, how they can take it forward and collaborate with the industry. So there the FITT comes and started playing a role in connecting industry to the academia. And at that point of time, we started working on technology commercialization, patents and all. For 8 to 10 years, we continue with this, and then in early 2000, we come up with our first incubation program. And in early 2004-5, we started incubating companies where we started taking equity in them. And I think, if I'm not wrong, we were the first one to start the incubation program in India, I would say. And then later on, when DST come up with a lot of policies, other government industries, Ministry of Electronics and all in 2014-16, then we come up with the technology business incubator. And there we started our journey in an expedite manner. And then in 2019, we come up with our first innovation park, which is in Sonipat, Haryana. It's an extension center of IIT Delhi, where we only do research work as well as incubation center supported by Atal Innovation Mission. In 2021, we set up with the Research and Innovation Park at IIT campus, IIT Delhi Hoskas, where we can accommodate somewhere around 150 startups at a time. So it's a, I would say, an umbrella which we have created so that we can accommodate more number of startups at a time. Initially, in our small building in 2015-16, we can only accommodate 14 to 20 startups. And we basically support more of IIT Delhi innovations. But now, after building this research and innovation park, we are open to all over India. We have startups from all over India, whether you are IITian or you are not an IITian, it doesn't matter. If you have a good idea, if you have a good prototype, you know your product, you have a good team, you are open to apply with IIT Delhi, and IIT Delhi is there to support you. So it's a 2-year of incubation program which we provide, and we support startups so that we can take them to the commercialization stage. These are 4 verticals which I was talking about. In early 90s, when we started, it was more about R&D projects connecting to the industry and all, and patent and the technology transfer. Then we come up with the another vertical, which is incubation and entrepreneurship. So there we provide you lab space, we provide you office space. You are open to access all IIT Delhi labs, all the 20 center of excellence which are with IIT Delhi. We connect you with the relevant faculty mentor if you need. Also, once you reach to the stage where you are looking for funds, we connect you to the VCs, and also our good alumni network, where a lot of already IIT Delhi alumni are the part of, I would say, a reputed VC firms. So we provide all those connections that we have so that you can raise further funding and commercialize and scale up your product development. Moving forward, as I mentioned, we also focus more on the academic spin-offs. So a lot of professors started their own startup. There are around 10 to 15 professors, I would say, who have their own startup. They are working on their product development. And they are doing good, I would say, parallelly. It's not like if you are a professor, you can't enter into this area. Now, once I will move forward with my presentation, after the involvement of Ministry of Defense, lot of, I would say, professors from different universities are becoming a part of this journey, and they wanted to start their own venture. This is some of the, I would say, activities that we do in the Research and Innovation Park. We organize hackathons, we organize a lot of corporate programs. So we have partnered with somewhere around 15 corporates, including Samsung, Pfizer, Oil India Limited, GAIL, Zyka India, Transport Stack. So a lot of companies, private companies, I will say industries, which promote innovation. We are a part of their program, and we support startups through these programs. And this helps because you get a direct pilot opportunity so that you can directly deploy your product. and also you get that industry expertise and the understanding that what exactly the problem is and how you can build those solution and then you can scale it up. So this is some of the impact which is created by our startups. I would say they have raised somewhere around, these are the numbers. These are some of the programs. So all the government schemes we support, either it's Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Electronics, Ministry of Defense, or it's Biotech, DBT, all schemes we support, where we provide funding to startups through various schemes at various stages. This is the Research and Innovation Park at IIT Delhi. It's a space which we provide to startups, and also it's not only the, I would say, for our internal startups or even if you have, let's say, you want to organize some event, but it should have an innovation angle into it. So you can be a part of that and you can book space and all that. That activity is also there parallelly. This is the overall building, and we are sector agnostic, but we basically support more deep tech startups, which more into AI, ML, healthcare, EVs, waste management. Then if I say nowadays people are coming up with materials testing, people are coming up with defense side, space, semiconductors. So we promote more of the deep tech startups. These are some of the glimpses of the space which we have at the various Research and Innovation Park. These are some of the schemes which I already mentioned you. At each and every stage we provide support through these different schemes, either it's government or private supported, and these schemes helps you to get some funding so that you can build your prototype, kickstart your journey, and if you are at a later stage, these funds helps you to commercialize, fulfill your orders. Glimpses of some of the events which we organize from time to time. This is which I was talking about, is the another vertical, the tech transfer, which helps startups to connect them to the relevant industry, so that even if you don't want to start your own startup, you want to sell your technology, our team is there which will help you identify the exact industry and then collaborate you with that industry so that you can finally sell your product either on a royalty basis or on the licensing basis. This is some of the portfolio at various sector with IIT Delhi. Maybe some of the names you already heard about them. They have already their product into the market. This is our clean mobility EV space startups. Around 18 to 19 startups we are supported in these areas. Some green tech startups who are working in the area of green technology. Then comes the IDEX, which is a nowadays I would say more defense is at a very proactive stage where they are supporting MSMEs and startups to come up with the indigenization product. So we have around 55 startups, somewhere around 70 plus challenges which we are supporting. To just give you a glimpse of some of them, Swadesh Ampresi is one of them. They have created the firefighting bot and already got an order of 182 crores from Indian Navy. They have deployed this product in a just time limit of 6 months, which is the fastest in the IDEX journey. This is the only startup who completed in only 6 months, and within a year they got this MOQ from Indian Navy. Siren AI is a faculty-led startup. Dr. Manan Suri is a professor at IIT Delhi. He is also one of the startup he is running, which is doing successfully in the area of AI and satellite imaging. And they also won the MOQ, which is somewhere around 35 to 40 CR from Indian Army. Brisk Olive, another team, which is, I will not say a startup, they are an MSME, and they have developed a foldable bridge so that you can cross river. Because nowadays it's like currently Indian Army has to take 3 to 4 days in order to build the long bridge and then cross the river. But they have developed this indigenization through small units that you can easily fold it, joint it, and within 2 hours of time you can cross the river. And they are also at the final stage. Most probably they will also get the MOQ from Indian Army. BotLab Dynamics, already one of the team member is sitting here, sir is sitting here. So I think you know BotLab, everybody knows BotLab. They are the only one who does drone shows. And now after completing their journey with this record of 5,500 plus drones, and I think now they are preparing for more than it. Now they have entered into the army side where they are catering the problems of defense. So now they are developing the lightweight disposable drone. So they are working on it, and most probably they will already completed their all milestones, and they are also going to get the MOQ soon from Indian Army. McPhee, another incubated team with IIT Delhi, they are working on the cold chain solution. They have also won the IDEX challenge, and they are also at the stage where they are going to receive the MOQ soon. So this is all from my side, just to give you a glimpse that how startups enter into their journey, not with the motto that they will finally do something which will cater defense side. But they started with something else, but when they find the application, they move their wings to different departments. And that helps you generate revenue more and more, and also parallelly helps you to come at a limelight. And once you are at the limelight of, definitely if you have done something for defense, then no private company is going to raise any question on your technology side. It's then always and definitely will always be for the market access and to just deploy the product. Nobody is going to ask you questions on the technical side. So I think that's all from my side. If you have any questions about FITT, IIT Delhi, happy to answer. Otherwise, I am in the middle of your lunch. Yeah.
India's main problem is we are a software power without software. We are a software power without software. We have an automobile power without any product which is at the next level. So most of our incubation center, in fact, I find the entire philosophy of India is not aligned with achieving the greatest innovations. We are distributing funding where there are results, but they are suboptimal. So when you compare India with the US, Europe, and many other countries, they have encouragements the way we are doing it, but more importantly, they have focused technology development programs on the technology gaps. To give you an example, everybody knows that software we are using are imported. And there are many other I can count on it. Is there a thought process on creating a vertical focusing on technology gaps of India?
So to answer your question, see, if you take any industry, either it's electric vehicles or anything, even if we talk about, we are importing everything. If we talk about semiconductor, we are importing chips. We at IIT Delhi or maybe any other IITs or any other private university also, faculty members or any researcher able to take their product development to TRL 3-4. The major gap is industry look for TRL 7. This 3 gaps industry don't want to fill. They said कि boss ये बना के दो मुझे ready, I am ready to adopt it और मैं commercialize कर दूंगा. वो जो gap है, that is because a lot of funding is required, sir, that point of time. That's why अगर आप नई deep tech policy पढ़ेंगे तो उसमें they are creating a model where they are going to give that fund to the whoever it is, either it's faculty or researcher or whoever. Because that funding is definitely required. In order to take that model from TRL 3-4 to 7, you need a lot of funds. आपको अगर testing करनी है, even if you talk about in defense, इतने सारे टेस्ट हैं, अगर आप टेस्ट पैरामीटर्स देखेंगे, I was also not aware of it. जब मैंने IDEX प्रोग्राम स्टार्ट किया था 2019 में, and when I got involved in 2022, तो लास्ट 4 years में मैंने ऐसे ऐसे सर्टिफिकेट देखे हैं जो मुझे मतलब ऐसा लगता था कि स्टार्टअप उसको फुलफिल भी नहीं कर पाएगा. मतलब अगर आपको एक MOQ लेना है, there are around 50-60 such testing certificates that you need, and for startups to fulfill that, and you need money, efforts, team, everything. That is also a challenge, but you have to fulfill it. क्योंकि try services नहीं करेंगे उन चीज़ों पे कि आप ये मुझे बिना करे प्रोडक्ट दे दो. They will not go ahead with this. उनका अपना मॉडल है. So I would say for that also now, what MOD or IDEX or other industries or maybe private, including that, they are creating a high-end labs जहाँ पे कि अभी भी जो certification है, there is a shortage. 2-2 महीने 3-3 महीने की लाइन लगती है, तब आपको वो सर्टिफिकेशन मिलेगा. तो उसके लिए भी दे आर वर्किंग कि पैरेलली कैसे ये एक्सपीडाइट हो सके. दे आर क्रिएटिंग मोर हाई एंड लैब्स, मोर हाई एंड सच इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर दे आर क्रिएटिंग. सिमिलरली, जस्ट टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन जो आप पूछ रहे हैं कि इट टेक्स टाइम सर. अगर मैं सॉफ्टवेयर की बात करूं, जो आप बोल रहे हो कि आज भी हम सॉफ्टवेयर इंपोर्ट करते हैं, बट अगर मैं आपको बताऊं तो नाउ देर आर लॉट ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स हु हैव स्टार्टेड क्रिएटिंग देयर ओन सॉफ्टवेयर्स, कि आप बाहर के सॉफ्टवेयर्स पे डिपेंडेंट ना रहें, आप हमारे सॉफ्टवेयर्स ही लें. एंड आई हैव सीन दिस in IDEX also. There are a lot of startup companies, MSMEs, which are working on this solution where they are creating a software which is indigenized. मतलब फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैं आपको बोलूँ, अभी क्या होता है कि कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर्स ऐसे हैं जो नेवीज़ में, शिप्स में यूज़ होते हैं, या कुछ इक्विपमेंट्स ऐसे हैं विच आर लाइक इम्पोर्टेड, 100% इम्पोर्टेड, उसका कोई सॉल्यूशन नहीं है. सो दे हैव थ्रोन अ चैलेंज जहाँ पे वो उसको पूरा इंडिजनेशन करने की ट्राई कर रहे हैं. सी सर, इट टेक्स टाइम. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि ये 2 साल में हो जाएगा, 4 साल में हो जाएगा. वंस यू क्रिएटेड दैट, उसके बाद भी आप बोलोगे कि उनकी क्वालिटी और हमारी क्वालिटी में बहुत फ़र्क है. That will be there initially, but once, even if we have started and we have started working on that path, I think that going forward definitely India में भी खुद के सॉफ्टवेयर्स होंगे, खुद का सेमीकंडक्टर प्लांट होगा, चिप होगा, but it takes time sir. I think that is somewhere around 2035. It takes time. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि सर 2 साल में वो क्रिएट हो जाएगा, but at least गवर्नमेंट ने और जितने स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, they have started thinking on that direction and they have started creating that atmosphere and path for the startups as well as innovators, कि एटलीस्ट आपको कल के दिन बाहर नहीं जाना पड़ेगा और बाहर के प्रोडक्ट्स पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं होना पड़ेगा. अभी मैं आपको बताता हूँ हमारे आईडेक्स चैलेंज में ऐसे कितने कंपोनेंट्स हैं जहाँ पे अगर हमें वो माइलस्टोन पूरा प्रोजेक्ट 24 महीने में करना है, बट जब माइलस्टोन 3-4 पे वो पहुँचता है और जैसे ही वो बोलता है कि सर मैंने वो ऑर्डर किया वो आ नहीं रहा, उसको 6 महीने लगेगा, दैट इज़ अ डिले. अगर वो मेरे इंडिया में अवेलेबल हो, सो डेफिनेटली आई कैन कंप्लीट एनी टास्क विद इन 6 months or 9 months. So people are thinking about it, government is thinking about it, industries are thinking about it, and I think within a time period of 4-5 years, you will see a lot of change, and people are working towards that direction. Even academics now, आपने भी देखा होगा, whether it's IIT or any other universities, they have started thinking कि अगर आप innovation की तरफ नहीं सोच रहे हैं, if you are only thinking about academics कि मुझे subject पूरा करना है, you are not going to go ahead in this journey anymore. Possible ही नहीं है. If you are from computer science, अगर आप सॉफ्टवेयर बना रहे हो और आप कल के दिन बोलो कि मैं इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, मैकेनिकल, ये सब मेरे मतलब का नहीं है, मुझे नहीं पढ़ना है, यू आर नोवेयर. मतलब अभी सब कुछ इंटर रिलेटेड है. यहाँ तक कि मेरे ख्याल से अगर कोई इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स पढ़ रहा है या कुछ पढ़ रहा है, उसको बायोमेडिकल भी पढ़ना है कल के दिन, क्योंकि अब उसमें भी हर जगह इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स लग रही है. तो यू हैव टू नो दी up and downs of healthcare industry also. So I think sir that will take time definitely, but yeah, what I am seeing from the last 10 years of my journey in this innovation, there is lot of change, and I think हर एक कोई उस direction में सोच रहा है. People are working towards that कि जिससे कि हमारी dependency बाहर के products पे, softwares पे जितना कम हो सके हो जाए. Maybe, but it will take time sir. जीरो तो नहीं होगा, obvious सी बात है, क्योंकि इसीलिए शायद आप देख ही रहे हैं आजकल ट्रम्प क्या क्या कर रहा है. तो but yeah, I think our new minds, brilliant students and all, they will come up with new technologies, and definitely in coming years I think there will be a lot of change that we will see. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And before we conclude, may I request Mr. Guru Vayur Appan from the technical head of QCI, sorry for mispronouncing, to just give the concluding remarks. Thank you, Guru.
Hi, am I audible? Okay. So I understand that most of your people here are youngsters and you need a break to process whatever the information that you have been hearing today. And it is also okay if you don't remember most of the things anyone said here. You can, there are 3 things I wish to let you know, that to be an expert in the drone industry, you need experience, but to know the drone and its functionality, it just takes 6 days to obtain a pilot certificate, and you will know how to fly. And if you guys are still at college, right? If you take internship at any available, even you can offer internship to the students. And there are a lot of 500 plus drone companies. You can, wherever you are, whenever you go home, go apply to the nearby drone industry, take 1 or 2 weeks internship course, and then know what it is, and then decide if you want to be in this industry or not. Because in the previous sessions, people said that everyone is making drones just because they know how to make drone. They are making drone and getting type certificate and lacking commercial value. It is like the entire industry. Everyone knows drone as a toy. शादी में उड़ता है इतना ही पता है, right? But there are challenges. There are multiple challenges which can be overcome by the technology if you put it to the right use. Like for example, crossing a mountain of 2 kilometers, but by road you have to go around for 26 kilometers. But that 2 kilometer aerial distance is the solution we are looking for, not just any other drone. I heard it from a wing commander, group captain, a mentor of mine. He said that chicken and eagle has wings, but their flight capabilities may not be the same. And that was a thought-provoking thing for me, especially because I am the one who is developing the standards and enhancing the scope for beyond visual line of sight drones. जो भी आँख के सामने दिखेगा वो तो easily उड़ सकता है, you can easily maneuver it, control it. But whatever goes beyond your sight, how are you going to ensure safety, reliability factor and security in that? Security के लिए बहुत लोग हैं, cyber security, Internet of Things they are bringing. But as DGCA, at par with DGCA, we are developing standards. DGCA is a regulator only concerned about safety. अगर हमारा सर पे नहीं उड़ना है, right? अगर it should not fall on my head. As in, so what is the minimum requirement of the drone is what we are all looking at. Considering the ecosystem, you should know the regulation, you should know the rules, and you should know the courses that are available, which is only authentic. Don't go and do any pilot course from an unauthentic person. And if you are going for even for an internship, just review the company. What is their experience, if they are hiring it, if they are teaching anything. And there is another thing that I would like to tell on behalf of QCI. We run a flagship program called Gunvata Gurukul, where students are welcome to apply. There is a batch of 100 students selected for every 2 weeks, where you are allowed to learn things that how to work in a corporate as well as government environment. It's a PPP model. So we'll teach you how to be a professional, and you will also be compensated for whatever your time that you are spending. That's an add-on to you apart from your internship. So just because you are here, I'm just telling you the aspects of the future. It's not like you have to be a drone pilot, you have to be a pilot, but you can be. So you can be a software engineer and you can be a pilot. It's an additional skill. It's an additional skill everyone should know tomorrow, that okay, this is how the industry is, this is how I can tackle problems. Just awareness, create awareness for yourself. No one is going to teach you well enough, right? And thank you for coming, everyone.
Thank you so much, Guru. And QCI has been supporting our endeavor in this thing, in the drone section, and we would like them to continue advising us as well. So may I request Dr. Jitendra Singh, sir, to please present mementos to Mr. Guru, Technical Head of QCI. Thank you for all your support always. A big round of applause for, I think you need to go to DGCA for a meeting. So thank you so much for being a part. A big thank you to Ms. Garima Vij from PDRL. Thank you for exhibiting and for being a part of both the Manthans. So thank you so much. And a big thank you to Mr. Manveen Chadda from FITT IIT Delhi. Thank you for bringing in the startups, for your support, partner. So we would like to give them another partner memento for being a part of the chamber. Thank you so much for always supporting the chamber's endeavors. and inviting AVPL, AITMC Ventures Limited, to come on stage for taking a memento for showcasing. Tushar and his team to join us on the dais. Come. A big round of applause. These people have been showcasing for the last 2 days, and they work on the ground level to bring the drone details to you. Please. JetJag Global. There is the exhibitor from JetJag Global. Please come on stage, sir. Thank you. Drone Destination Limited. Chirag or any team member from Drone Destination? Again, sorry. IFCO, is there any exhibitor from IFCO? Avril, somebody? Okay, come. So we have the drone Didi, the Bharat drone Didi from IFCO here. She's the young drone Didi who's using it at the ground level. Please come. And last but not the least, Singhania University, to please come on stage. Thank you for exhibiting, and they have lots of good courses. You can have a chat with them to take. Okay. All right. So I think we've missed out on Drone Destination Limited. So we'll request you to come on stage and take your certificates. And requesting sir to hand over certificates to the coordinators. Any other exhibitor who has not received their... So Mr. Rishik from JNU School of Engineering. अपने लिए तो तालियां मार लो जोर से. And Mr. Praveen from IITM. And a big thank you to our media partners, Bots and Drones, Drone World, Drone Helpline and Cargo Insights, for being a part of the program and for covering it. So I'll ask Dr. Singh to just conclude. Thank you very, very much. We'll invite you all for lunch. And sir, would you like to close?
So thank you to Bhavna Singh, the chief architect of this Drone Manthan 2.0. A big round of applause for Bhavna. So thank you very much, and distinguished speakers, our delegates, young entrepreneurs. In fact, it was quite a Manthan, and I'm sure that you will get more Amrit rather than the poison out of this. And since we'll be collating the entire data points, whatever important points and facets that has been discussed over the last 2 days, we'll be making a proper manuscript, and once it is vetted by our domain experts, by our distinguished speakers also, they will also add their own version, and then we will actually give the final version to all the delegates who are present in this hall. Thank you very much for your presence. Looking forward for your presence in our next endeavor. I'll request the team, along with Bhavna Singh's team, to kindly come on the dais. Kiral, Ambika, Neha, join. So these are the people who did entire back office operations for manifesting this Drone Manthan 2.0.
Siddharth, Gitali, Shantanu, the team to join us for a group photograph, and inviting you all for lunch here only. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. And thank you to Captain Narang and Bots and Labs for being here today, sir. Thank you very, very much for spending time with us. So the rest of the PhD team, please join us. Sarfaraz Khem Singh ji, please come. The stalls are still open.